What's up, guys? Welcome to the Weekly Phoenix. Okay, guys, so basically what we're doing here is we're basically just starting a vlog, Phoenix Paranormal, the Weekly Phoenix. I like the ring of that. That's very nice. So we're just going to be chatting about paranormal stuff, right?
I think this is a good start of the entire vlog. I think the entire idea behind the vlog is there's so much to discuss. Not a lot of platforms in South Africa specifically that discusses the whole paranormal quote-unquote industry or culture, I think is a more appropriate
community.
Yeah, community. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting with so many groups that started, and a lot of great groups out there. And I think now, with all the attention in South Africa flaring up, with not just activity that's flaring up, but interest in general from the community, I think it's a great time to actually do like the weekly Phoenix. Phoenix. And just have a casual discussion. I mean, when we say casual, I mean literally. I've got a nice branding, a pink kids cup.
Got me the red wine. Cheers.
I unfortunately have nothing to drink.
Yeah, Wynand isn't much of a drinker, nee.
No, not so much. Not so much.
But we're all full-time parents and we need to take that edge off.
I did drink at some stage in my life, but it just got to a stage where it wasn't, being in a social environment with people with alcohol just wasn't fun for me anymore.
Who is this guy?
But I mean, when you go out to a pub or a club, it's boring. It's really boring for me. Yeah, so I sort of grew out of it. I found other interests.
Like the paranormal.
The same as, every time I walk into a pub, I wonder if it's a haunted pub.
Yeah, exactly.
If I go into a pub, I wonder if it's an old pub. So I agree with that. I'm not a very social guy that goes out to pubs and clubs and all of that. I think the last rave I went to was in high school, so let's leave that there. But yeah, this whole discussion is just an introduction to the entire series that we want to do. Just introduction to say who we are. For those who don't know, we are Phoenix Paranormal. We've started, Sham, help me here, 10 years ago, 13, 14?
2014, so it's 7 years now.
7 years, basically, yeah.
It feels so much longer.
Yeah, but it's because I think we're all like soulmates or something, so it's like a lifelong friendship. Prior to this, we were in a different group, so.
Yeah, but tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about the previous group.
Well, it was, I moved to Pretoria, my interest in paranormal spiked there, and I started a paranormal blog, and I met another guy, and we started a group, and we called it What Paranormal Researchers of Pretoria, I can't even remember, and that's how I met literally all of the people that's currently in the group, all the older members, and that's where it all basically started. Apart from that,
it was a great group.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally how everything started.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for those times.
But that's very interesting because you're just saying that now, and why do you think at that specific time and place all you guys sort of clicked together in the paranormal at that stage? I mean,
I don't know, and the interest was there, but it wasn't as great as it is now. But I don't know, somehow the people that are in our group now, all the members, I don't know, it's just like shit to I don't know. Okay, let me rather say moth to a lamp.
Alright, okay.
Moth to a lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's very interesting to me. That at that specific stage, there were a bunch of people really interested, and a group was formed. I don't know how does it happen these days, because you don't find like-minded people. I mean, we've been looking for more investigators for a while now. You know, and it's hard to discern if someone would be a good investigator, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
In the chemistry, it's like being part of a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you either gel together or you literally you just don't. And to get people to, and I mean, I know it sounds bad, and please guys don't kill me for this, but it's difficult. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, okay, cool, I like the paranormal, and I want to.
Everybody loves the paranormal.
I want to do this. I want to go on investigations. I want to freak out. It's difficult. That's not what the paranormal investigations is. Oh, my English there was very deliciousness, guys.
It's okay, we try.
Yes, verskoon.
We do try.
People think it's like, for example, Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures,
Exactly.
110% all the way, go, 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 go. Evidence, evidence, evidence. What they don't see is they don't see the literally like 2 weeks worth of research that goes into this location. I mean, this is only after months of talking to the guys and finding out whether you can investigate, then you have permission. Weeks of research going into it, weeks of planning and getting a game plan together, then all the review. I mean, every single one of us has spent hours and hours and hours and countless of
I usually, sorry, Arnie,
I just put it in perspective for people who don't really understand the review process. So let's say you're doing a 9-hour investigation.
Okay.
And you're doing it on 4 cameras. So that's 9 times 4. That's how many hours you need to spend reviewing evidence.
And you can't skip for a second, because that second where you skip is the second
you miss something.
Catch the evidence.
Yeah.
Now you even take that. Now we've got base cameras, like 9 cameras recording for 4 hours. And you've got guys that you shoot on the mobile devices. You've got guys with EVP recorders. You've got thermal video that you have to go through. You've got connected evidence you have to go through. So it's literally, I mean, some of the investigations takes absolutely, and I'm not underestimating this. It takes weeks, if not months,
Yeah.
to review the evidence and make sure that you go through. And I mean, the worst part is, okay, for me personally, I love that part, is to go through all of the evidence, not get a single thing. Because I think everyone thinks now we're going back to the Ghost Adventures syndrome, where everyone thinks it's go all the time and you always get this perfect evidence. But I mean, you go through all of that and you get nothing.
And even let's talk about just sitting, the actual investigation. You're sitting in an abandoned, dusty building for hours trying to capture evidence. I mean, that is not glamorous, because it's not like, oh, I'm seeing the shadow person, let's run. No, it's not that.
Yeah, and I think another thing that needs to be taken into consideration is the fact that how much we love specific buildings' architecture, the history behind it. Because otherwise, I think, you know, the novelty of being a paranormal investigator will wear off very easily. Because it's a long, like you guys say, it's a long hours in the dark and dust, and mostly for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, not all of our investigations deliver profound evidence, and you have to be happy with that, because I think that gives you credibility.
Yeah, like
and it goes back to what you guys are saying. I mean, if we talk about, it takes a special kind of crazy, a special mind of guys to get together that gels, that takes the time in. I mean, yes, this is okay. Let me address this issue quickly, guys. No, we do not get paid to do these investigations. No, we do not ask for money to do these investigations. We do it out of our pocket. Each of us has our own lives. We've got our full-time jobs, so that we do this after hours. So to get the commitment of like Shemaine said, 7 years. 7 years, every single day
Every single day.
dedicating yourself to finding locations, to reviewing evidence, to building the videos, to doing absolutely everything possible to tell
To
this
keep
story.
this going.
And
Mm.
I think for us, just to make this clear again, we don't get an income out of this. So we're not in it for the money or fame or anything. We're literally doing this, and this comes back for me for the whole methodology about it. Why do we do what we do? For me personally, is we do it to find out more. We do it to find out what's after death.
Dis my brood en my botter.
Yeah, let's go back to that for a second. I'm just why I think most people's perception would be, then why? It's just a bunch of you're just wasting your time.
I don't think we're wasting our time. I think because each thing that we have done so far has been published, has been recorded, videos, all of that, and we are actually in the process educating the whole of South Africa, and not just about the paranormal, but educating them about the history that needs to be preserved, as well as all of the various places. Because I mean, most of the time there's a place in your backyard which you don't even know about,
True.
but they are just seeing like the main places, Kempton Hospital, Erasmus Castle, all of those, and actually just go out and drive around and have a look about it, and you'll actually see that there are so many places with lots of history and a story to tell.
Exactly.
I mean, not a single place where you go, and I mean, we talked about this a bit earlier off camera, but I mean, the whole thing of the life of a paranormal investigator. You go through to shops, you drive through town to take your kids to whatever function they need to go to. You just travel everywhere. Yes, well,
schools.
Just,
We want to investigate schools.
Places, whatever. And as you drive past these places, you're like, oh my soul, this place is so old. The building is so old. I wonder what's
That's amazing.
And for us, I think that's actually something that developed. In the beginning, we were all paranormal, but now it turned more into the story behind it, the history behind it. For me personally, I mean, I'm completely hooked on, if I see an old building, I want to know what happened there. I want to know what was it used for, etc., and anything else is a bonus. But just sorry, train of thought, Bainan. Coming back to what you said earlier as well, what's the best part of being an investigator for me? Going through those countless of hours of footage and to find nothing. I think that's the difference between us as well as the entire general population or community overseas, especially overseas, where I think people are just quick to say, oh crap, that's paranormal. Whereas there's normally a logical explanation. Sean, please explain this earlier. This will explain to everyone what actually happened earlier off camera, and this is what we do.
Well, actually, that tag hanging behind him, like
We were busy talking before, and I couldn't take my eyes off it because this thing was like dangling the whole time. And I said to her, I can't take my eyes off it. Like, I'm thinking, why is it dangling? Is the window open? Is the door open or whatever? And then he actually confirmed that the door was open, whereas other people would have thought, shit, it is haunted. It's not. It's just try to find a logical reason.
We go into places with an idea, a legend, a story, and we try to debunk it. And if it's debunked, you know what? It's not paranormal. Unless we can find something profound on evidence, something that we can give to you guys and say, look what we found. We are sure this is paranormal. Unless it's something like that, we have to debunk it. And this proves it. This is the example. There was a natural explanation for it. Instead of going for the first thing, which my place is literally haunted. I mean, if you guys know it. Instead of saying that, the girl's out again. Take a recent example. The wind is blowing, the doors are open, etc., etc. So I think that's part of the mythology of what we do, of of how we do it is we try to go in with an open mind, try to think logically about it, scientifically about it, debunk everything we can, and everything that we cannot debunk.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's a
Here's a question now. I don't think we've actually ever discussed this. Do you think all of our investigators have paranormal activity in their houses?
No, I don't think so. I don't. I think if you want to allow it, if you want to believe like that thing dangling there, it's something, then yeah. I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to reverse that to you, mate. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think paranormal activity exists absolutely everywhere at any single time? I mean, let's take your suburb that you guys live in.
all right.
How many?
Which is an
people
old
passed
suburb.
on?
Yes.
And
How
we
many
live in
people
the older
passed on?
houses.
So
Yeah,
if
we
in
do.
theory, every single person that passed on is a spirit or entity, don't you think it's a bit crowded?
We don't. I think we've talked about this so much, and we don't actually think so, because we do live in an old house,
Yeah.
in an old suburb.
Yeah,
but
very old
I
suburb.
think just spoke myself in the eye. I think what does happen is, and I don't have even the slightest paranormal explanation for this,
Yeah.
is sometimes something passes through.
Yeah, it's like
We found that with this house, with the
Yeah.
previous house, it's like it's not haunted, but sometimes something passes through and it's never to be seen or found again, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. We live close to the Northcliffe Hill.
Yeah.
So you know, there's been strange reports,
UFOs,
all kinds of crazy shit
clubs
that's happened
burning
there.
down, and
Thing is,
hauntings, I don't know.
There's even a castle up there. We just can't find it. We can't find
We
a
can't
road
find
to get
it.
there.
What the hell?
But
I only knew someone with a drone, eh?
What if? Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
drone?
so I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I don't think that the activity is necessarily has been there for a while. I think it's. You know what? I used to have this a colleague of mine. She was very attached to the paranormal, right? So she often saw stuff, and to her it was like, I don't know. People have described this to me that they see them as normal people. And once I returned from, it was right after the lunatic asylum investigation.
Yeah.
And she said when I walked into the office, there were like 19.
No, she said like 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, spirits walking into the
But the thing is, we don't see that because we've just been to the most amazing investigation ever. We do not fucking care. And it's just, dude, if there's like 14 souls, you need to go. You need to go right now.
What was interesting, what she told me was that, you know, that they're all very confused and they didn't understand where they were. Like they were completely out of time. And so as the day goes on, they sort of disperse.
The thing is, and just to put this in perspective before you get angry, we are not mediums. We don't, we're sensitive to energy because over the years we have grown accustomed to whatever is around us. You know, we can sense stuff in a way, but we are not mediums. So we, you know, if these stuff is around us, I don't know.
I literally just think that they latch onto your energy field, and they just to get out. I think the reason why is they just wanted to get out of there.
But how come in our houses, like Arno said,
Maybe
do you think?
Yeah, maybe it's something that gets trapped there for a while, and then, you know, eventually it just finds its way out, like a snake or something.
Or something you bring in, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the point I wanted to make earlier as well, and that's specifically why I asked you that question. I think if let's for a little bit, forget about the logic and the science behind everything. Let's go into the whole psychic phenomenon of the paranormal experience in general. I wonder if it's not maybe a situation of, I mean, like I mentioned, if you have to take every single person that passed on over the years and years and eons and days and thousands of years, it should be quite crowded in the afterworld. So maybe they're everywhere actually, and like you mentioned, they're passing through, and either you're open to the topic and you're open to it and you perceive something that happens as a paranormal activity, or you just, I mean, please don't, guys, yeah, please don't hit me with the Bible, but you're like a old Christian type in South Africa, which is, to be honest, there's still a lot of people out there like that, where you don't talk about it, you don't discuss it, you don't mention
It's
it.
taboo.
I mean, to talk about paranormal,
Yeah.
to talk about ghosts, spooks, demons, demone, wat ook al, I mean, is a very taboo topic still in South Africa. So if you close you up with it, I mean, what's the one advice we give to everyone with private investigations? It's
Do
close
not
yourself to
indulge. Do not
Okay.
indulge. And that's
Not
exactly the
engage.
same. If
So
you
if
want to
you don't,
see it in
then
everything,
it's
you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think I wonder if that isn't perhaps what's going on. It's the way you perceive things in general. If I can sum up as that,
I actually
whether
agree with
either you
that.
do it, you look out for the signs and you can see it clearly, or you just close your mind to it and you don't realize
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the thing with us. You know, we've developed a consciousness of something outerworldly going on. You'll see it in your animal's behavior. Even very small children notice things that you don't. So I think just that fact is that the children can say, there's a monster there, and it's literally not. You can just you start to feel you feel it. You feel that something is actually, you know, they're not just making it up. So there is definitely something, and then having that awareness to know which way to deal with it in a responsible manner, of course.
Dealing with it is I mean, and I think that's where we come in. If I can move it back to why do we do and what do we do? Why does Phoenix Paranormal exist? We try to give people answers to what they're thinking and what they're experiencing. So we go in and we try to give them proof of the paranormal. No, we're not psychic like Shemaine mentioned. We're not psychics, we're not mediums. We're not people that goes in there and does some sort of prayer or ritual to get these things out, or people or entities out. We just try to give you peace of mind to say that here's the evidence. You're not
Yeah.
crazy. You did experience something. We experienced it too. And I mean, I remember specifically this investigation, private investigation, what we had, where the guys were experiencing paranormal activity, and we discovered, I'm not sure if don't want to give anything away or locations away, but specifically it was the TV and the computer in the room that was causing high EMF. Shama, can you remember that?
Yeah. But like
and that
extreme high
high
EMF.
was
We're a very old team.
that I mean, scientific fact, guys, by the way, high EMF causes hallucinations, it causes nausea, headaches, body aches. You hear stuff, you see stuff, it's hallucinations. So that's because of high EMF. So now people think it's paranormal, but meanwhile it was just because of high EMF. And when they took away that element, everything became better. So that's what we tried to do. We tried to go in, advise, show them the
And
proof that we had.
that's the most
Yeah.
important thing. People
Actually, just because they are experiencing all of these things, they just want to hear that they are not crazy.
Yeah, I think just being
That
able to share,
means a lot to them.
yeah, to share your story and have people look at you, not that they're crazy. But the thing that I personally experienced, and it's quite strange, because I got asked in the radio interview the other day about, you know, what would you tell a skeptic? And the first thing that, you know, I was stupid because I didn't think about the question that, and the only thing that came out is that I haven't met a skeptic in a very long time.
Yeah.
There was this one colleague of mine. She she didn't believe in any paranormal or anything like that, but she also believes that the Earth is flat. So, yeah. So we can laugh at that. We know that the world is not flat. Anyway, so I think after lockdown, we have a conversation. As he begins to tell me that he actually experienced a very hectic attack, a paranormal attack, like being pushed down onto the bed. Like, you know, this is now someone who has no consciousness of any spirit activity around them or any activity around them, getting physically attacked. And right after that, you know, what else are you going to believe? So it's interesting to me that everyone that I come across, they have a story.
What you say there is the truth, because, okay, in my opinion as well, a skeptic will always stay a skeptic, no matter what you give to him or what you prove to him, up until they have an experience that changes the entire perspective.
Yeah.
And the second part of what I want to say with that is, it's always funny where you get like these, you get people that say, it's devils, it doesn't exist, and or it's demonic and it's devilish and all of that Satanism. But let me tell you something that I experienced that as a child. I saw a ghost when I was a child. So they're quick.
Me too.
Skeptics normally quick to say it doesn't exist and it's either demonic or it's unchristian-like or unreligion-like, if I can.
Okay, sorry.
But they always have stories of a spook story or a ghost story in their childhood.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Exactly.
sorry to interrupt. I don't know. I just want to touch on something. You mentioned it twice now. You know, specifically religious people who don't talk about demonic entities. But you know, if you're religiously that way inclined, being a full-hearted Christian, then you need isn't it natural to be aware of the evil forces out there, because it's obviously the flip side of what you believe in, right? I don't know. That's actually how I got back into my religion, was because of paranormal, because of the paranormal.
It's truth. I mean, I think, you know what, guys. Now I'm talking to the internet people out there, me or fans. Please don't crucify me for the following, but let's take Christianity, because I mean, I'm a Christian, you guys are Christian, and all of that. I mean, we're proudly Christian, so let's take it from that perspective. But I think this counts in general, in every faith, in every religion. If you actually read the Bible, if you actually study your own religion, you will realize that they talk about that so many bloody times, where they talk about spirits, where they talk about hauntings, where they talk about demonic entities, they talk about ghosts, they talk about the paranormal in general. So normally, if someone comes up to me and tells me, you know what, I am a Christian and I don't believe in paranormal, give me the proof, I'll just tell them, listen, open the Bible. Have you actually read that book? I mean, I've read it cover to cover how many times, and there's so many passages where they talk about Saul, King Saul, and Solomon and everything, that where they experience these paranormal happenings, but people are just shut everything off. They're so scared about it.
They are
So,
scared. Yeah.
I can't remember the proper word for it, but through the years they've been almost like sensitized to the topic of paranormal and ghosts and all of that it doesn't exist. It's a taboo topic. You don't talk about it.
But here's a thought.
One thing I want to mention. One thing people don't realize is we've been cornered and asked by a couple of churches, a couple of religions, to investigate. I've personally been asked by a couple of someone in the NG faith community, Neo-Apostolic faith community, a couple of priests and all of that, to say that where they said that, listen, these guys are experiencing something, don't you just want to go have a look and see if there's something there? So it's difficult for me. I know religion in general is a very dangerous topic, especially in South Africa. But to touch on that topic, how can you, if your faith talks about it does exist. I mean, literally go read your faith. It does exist. If your churches and everything does reach out and say, you know what, these people need help, they need confirmation or whatever, how can you
Yeah.
turn around and say, you know what, this is still
But
not
that's exactly the thing. Is
Who's gonna help these people? Because often I've had many people contact us and nobody wanted to come out to help them. Does that make you bad for trying to help?
I think-
no, because
no.
nobody else wants to help them and they are panic driven. They do not know what's going on
people
and
are
they
really
are
scared sometimes.
scared.
Yeah.
So I don't really believe, in my opinion, also it's just black and white, you know. It's not face value, you know.
Yeah, getting back to the paranormal, and I think over time, I think we've lost a certain respect for the dead, if that makes any sense. I'm just thinking about, you know,
I think
when
we've
you
lost
mentioned-
respect for bullies, because we've had a lot of those, you know, in the spiritual world.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm going back now to ancient times, thinking about the Egyptians, how the dead were treated, like the pharaohs, for instance. You know,
Oh, you mean like that? Oh,
that
okay.
ritualistic respect. You know, and now we just cremate people. There's not even a stone. There's a little plaque on a wall. You know.
Even with
How easy is
COVID
it-
nowadays, I mean, I've just seen like people just like literally not even lowering the casket in. It's just like throwing it in. Bye.
So I
With COVID. So what? I understand what you're saying.
So I think, you know, people might have lost respect for the dead because it's something that obviously happens to everyone, but that remembrance, I don't know. It's I think the point I want to make is maybe it's just because we've just lost touch with our spiritual selves in society today. You know, we're all about this now. You know, we don't spend enough spiritual time with ourselves and with whatever your beliefs are. If you're
A Christian or, you know,
It makes
No,
me
I'm
think
trying
of
to
the
say.
Mexican community overseas. I mean, they've got literally have the Day of the Dead, where they celebrate the ones who passed on. And I mean, the whole point of that is that, and I think in their faith and culture is that if you start forgetting about someone, if you start forgetting how they looked like and all of that, then literally they die in eternity. They don't just physically. I mean,
Wow.
they passed on already, but
It's interesting.
I mean, I can think of a couple of movies even and a couple of documentaries I've seen where on the Day of the Dead, they go and they honor those loved ones, where they actually erect almost like a type of a shrine with their photos and they pay respect to those people who passed on. And the entire idea behind it, or mythology behind it, is that as soon as you forget what they did, if you forget their names, if you forget their face, who they are, their identity, then they physically die in the eternal realm. And I think that's quite actually beautiful that
And
they speak
sad. Yeah.
about giving respect to the ones who passed on. I mean, I hate it when these I'm gonna say it, Zach Baggins. If you watch the show, awesome. You're awesome. Thank you. Give us a like. Stop my name. I want to see if it's really you. They go out ghost adventures. I do not like ghost adventures because they go in full force. They on the attack from the get go. They disrespect the ones the dead, and that's how they get the evidence. Let's be honest about it. They mock them and they taunt them and they pull them out, and that's not what we do. We try to get evidence without going that level. With paying respect to the ones who passed on in that area.
Yeah.
Sometimes we push a bit hard, don't get me wrong, we do get our times, especially when kids are involved and especially where people are attacked. Then we try
Yeah,
to
bullies,
push
like you said, bullies.
to like bullies, yeah.
Soos my
To
dan
get
kom net
them
nou nie
both to
weer
find
terug.
out what's going
Full
on.
circle.
But in general, we actually
Circle.
cute little teddy bears. But yeah, I think from my side, Wynand and Sham, I mean, the best freaking friends I can ever, and that's the whole point. We're family.
Mm.
We're Phoenix family. we are being a part of Phoenix is being a part of an extended family.
Yeah.
And we know as kids, we grow up, we live with each other, and although not literally, I mean, two different locations, but you get what I mean.
We live
It's a
in the same
culture, and
building. House.
yeah.
Inside a house.
Doing what we do,
Together.
it's something special, and I think the whole point of this series that we want to start now, this first episode, is delving into South Africa's paranormal. I mean,
Because it is
we're going to
unique.
try and reach out.
Oh, so
Exactly.
unique.
We're going to try and reach
So
out
unique.
to everyone. We're going to try and reach out to other groups and have a
Yes.
discussion with other
Let's
groups,
do
have a
that.
discussion with other people, and discussing different topics, from cursed objects right through to a whole mythology about the paranormal and every single topic. So, guys, if there's a topic that you can think of, if you guys have questions,
Yeah,
please
please pop.
ask us in the comments below. Talk to us. And if you guys like this so much, then maybe we can schedule like a live event sometimes and
Yeah.
like real
Ja,
time.
dit sal great
people's-
wees.
That's always fun.
Ja.
It's always fun to do
Yeah.
live.
On the fly questions. Hey.
All right.
Hey.
Okay, I've got a quick fire question. Just a quick fire question for both of you.
What is the most profound paranormal piece of evidence that you've seen? It can be a TV show, it can be
Ach, let's keep it
Something-
local, man.
something
Seriously.
that we've caught. It can, yeah. What's the most profound piece of paranormal evidence? Anything, it can be anything.
Okay, I can go with that. If it has to be evidence, then not a personal experience. Physical.
Yeah, physical
Evidence.
evidence. Yes.
I think
Yes.
Sprinkle.
So,
I think the 6 foot like wanker sprinkle. That is my go-to evidence.
Yeah, but that was that.
There was
something.
just no denying it, and obviously
that is
still at
something,
Sprinkle, the
right.
girl who said
Good one.
help,
That's-
dis donker hier, binne wat, ek kan nie sien nie.
That's a very good
Ja,
one.
daai Arno?
there's actually there's a couple for me, but I'm gonna make this two. I'm gonna go international and I'm gonna go local.
Okay.
Okay. International. Do you guys remember Taps? It was like this TV show Taps. I love Taps. Jason Hawes.
That was me,
Yes.
2009.
Yes, we know.
And then I was like, can I actually do this in the dark? I do not know. I'm so scared, but I want to do this. Yeah, that was Act 2009.
They did this one investigation at a library where they actually caught a female apparition appearing on screen. You can see the dress, you can see the era of the clothes she's wearing, and she's literally like just walking and boom, gone. That was absolutely
Wow.
amazing. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
And
Goosies.
if you're
Goosies.
local evidence, we caught so many things. It's very difficult. If you go into the Connect Charm, I think there was, we did an investigation in 18th Avenue, Pretoria, where we used the Connect specifically as well. I'm not sure, I don't think I'm not sure if you can remember it, where you can see physically the entity appearing, you can see the Connect
Yeah.
forming around it, and they just turn, they're gone.
Yeah.
It was almost better for me than the 6 foot wanker.
Ja, ek like die 6 foot wanker hoor. Ek like hom. Hy is
Because you
epic.
can see something manifesting, you can see something take form, interact with the world, and disappear.
But it was weird because it was like a morph. There was nie eers 'n entity of it was like a yeah, there were two, but the one that I'm thinking about was just net so blob morph en dan die ander een.
The other one was on the stairs, but I think that was almost a glitch. But there's so many pieces of evidence. We can talk about the handprint, the thermal handprint we got
man.
at the house in Joburg as well. We can talk about the Lunik Asylum evidence we got there, Class A EVPs. But Mark,
Yeah, that's
the go-to.
very
That's
profound.
actually my go-to evidence. If someone asks me to play them some evidence, I play that clip normally to them. But there's lots. I think people need to just check out our top 10 videos and
Yeah.
tell
And-
us.
And not even the top 10, even just the old doctor's mansion. We had excellent EVPs there.
Yeah.
Excellent SP7 responses as well.
On that topic, demonic versus normal. Okay, when I classify normally there's like 3 type of entities. You get like intelligent haunting, residual haunting, and demonic haunting. What do you guys think? Most caught in, if you look at your paranormal career, for lack of a better term, have you ever experienced?
Most caught would be intelligent, and I think most of our investigations were intelligent because they responded real time. I think even actually least tie would be demonic and residual. Residual, I think, was like Smith's house. That was dead, like nothing happened. Demonic also, except obviously the old rat soul, we had something there, but we have discussed that previously. But yeah, I think intelligent in my personal experience.
Yeah, I think
is the most.
demonic is very rare. I don't think it's something we come across often.
Yeah.
In my mind, there's always a few and one dominant kind of in charge. I don't know, and from my experience, because you have a very different perspective before you start investigating than you do afterwards. So it's because every investigation is different, and like that you start stacking up a certain idea of what's going on in your head. So that's what it's like for me. I see it as one dominant and a bunch of smaller.
Yeah.
I see it as a landlord. There's a landlord and then there's the residents. Okay.
Quite a good explanation, actually.
Yeah, that's the kind of perception I get with a demonic thing. There's one thing, and it's in a specific place, and you just know. Residual, I think it occurs. Residual occurs in everybody's home on a daily basis. So if you're at a certain place at a certain time and a temperature is a certain temperature, then this thing will play. And if you catch it, I think that's actually very, very profound when you do catch something like that. Because if the conditions had to be perfect. When the sound was first replicated or the scene was replicated. So I think that's quite interesting. I think it's hard to distinguish between different kinds of residual energy. But intelligent, like you say, they do respond in real time. And demonic, you just know. It's like your soul tells you.
And it smells.
I've never had. I can't talk an experience when it comes to the demonic because, in my opinion, I've never experienced the demonic. I've never seen that classical. I mean, when we I think first of all we need to classify. How do you know it's demonic? I mean, we can only take on what case studies, on what other groups have experienced and all of that, where they say that there's this sulfur smell, that there's insects dying from unnatural causes, and there's just this feeling of unwellness.
Look at this bee!
Look at him! He died from polio. Very unnatural.
Cockroaches in your house. The cockroach doesn't fix it. You get a cockroach that's dead there. I'm hiring that demonic.
But in all honesty, I mean, the only place that I have smelled that rotten smell was with that real estate property in Benoni. I know
mentioned it the other day.
I did legit smell, and I did feel like I wanted to run out of there. But but it's not a polio it is the polio bug.
Very unnatural death.
Very unnatural.
Usually they die from heart attacks, but I've never seen this before.
Strangely enough, guys, talking about sulfur smell linked to paranormal, now that I'm literally thinking of it, And I think we did cover this in a previous vlog as well, but just seeing as this is a new series, we did a couple of investigations at the old
Still thinking about the bee.
Raadsel,
Ja, ek is nou fine.
old Raadsel in Pretoria, and
Ja.
something happened.
It smelled like a battery
acid.
acid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a sulfur smell.
Everywhere.
And
No, specific spot. Waar Dave geattack was.
in a nutshell, to just give everyone a background of what happened was, with the Raadsel, you've got this, in the entry hall, you've got this massive staircase going up to the gallery area upstairs. And we were chasing down some noises that we heard. And this one investigator, Dave, he started to raise his hand to tell us, listen, wait, he hears
And he just froze.
He just froze.
Like that.
He completely froze like that.
And it smelled like battery.
There's so many things that I can say right now. I mean, like going back to skeptics. I mean, again, no matter what evidence you give to skeptics, they're not going to believe unless they experience it. But I went to Dave. I mean, I'm a pretty strong guy. I tried to pull his arm down and I couldn't do it. He was literally like frozen in place, and he had that battery acid sulfuric smell.
Yeah.
And not even 10 minutes after that, multiple investigators on different locations in the hall saw the exact same dark entity. It looked like actually was almost like a mimic of someone standing on the gallery, looking down, smiling at everyone with dark eyes.
Yeah.
And
but literally, it was like a grey skin.
And they were in different locations. So that was the closest for me where we came to paranormal activity, demonic activity. And I've never in my life experienced something like that.
Jeez.
That day we experienced.
And
I would love to go back.
Just also just to give perspective on that from my side, I was actually on a staircase when this all happened, and I was looking down at Dave, and I don't know what happened to me as well. It was very unexplained, but I froze. Like I could see what was happening, but it was like I'm seeing what's happening, but I can't do anything. It was very weird. And Dave also said that what he saw is like a black something entity, and he heard a growl. That was it. After that, he can't remember anything, and he was paralyzed. Yeah.
Jeez, that's frightening.
I had a heart attack now because as you were telling that story, I heard this screeching noise coming, and it's actually my daughter opening up the door to go to the bathroom.
But that's frightening though. That's But with something like that, I get the impression that it's just like a negative thing that sits and nests in a certain spot in the location.
But it wasn't there previously when we investigated.
Really?
No.
That's strange.
No. Okay, so I think actually all of that's that for vanaand.
All right, yeah, I think let's wrap it up.
Uur en 'n half.
Yeah, okay, no, that's cool. We'll wrap it up.
But yeah, guys,
then,
thank you.
We've got so many stories to
Thank you
tell.
for the first episode from my side. If I can just say, guys, thank you for every single like. Thank you for every single comment, negative, good, bad, worst, whatever it is. Thank you for all the support that we get from the public in general, and I think our international community, especially our local community. And there's so many groups starting right now, and I want to take literally this chance and thanking all of you, and just say, reach out, let's talk, let's discuss. I mean, let's collaborate because we're all in this together. I think the discussion about the paranormal in South Africa is much bigger than just one group or much bigger than just one person. And we need to work together, need to share data, need to collab. So yeah, thank you to everyone, and thank you to you guys, the Phoenix family, every single investigator out there, every single person that spent so many times
the viewer, thank you,
investigating and everything. Yeah, that's from my side. Arnu.